The Federation wonders why Earth lacks a defense grid. We believe offense is the best defense, HFY story. The Federation had always prided itself on its technological supremacy. Across the galaxy, countless planets had relied on their advanced defense grids to protect them from invaders, natural disasters, and any threat that might arise. These grids, a seamless mesh of satellites, planetary shields, and automated weapon systems, had kept their world safe for millennia. So, when Earth was first contacted by the Federation, the diplomats were stunned by what they found. The planet, with its burgeoning space program and rapidly advancing technology, lacked one of the most basic elements of modern civilization, a planetary defense grid. The Federation envoy, Ambassador Vlorak, an alien with 6 spindly arms and a translucent blue exoskeleton, leaned forward, his 3 eyes narrowing in curiosity as he addressed Earth's representative, Dr. Emma Lawson, a seasoned astrophysicist and Earth's lead diplomat. "Tell us, Dr. Lawson," Vlorak began, his voice a gentle hum, "why does Earth not have a defense grid? Every world we've encountered, no matter how primitive, has some form of planetary defense. Yet, your planet, you have none." Dr. Lawson smiled, a mix of pride and defiance. She knew this question was coming, but she had been ready for it for years. "Well, Ambassador," she began, her voice steady, "on Earth, we've developed a different approach to our security. We don't rely on defense to protect us from threats. Instead, we focus on offense. It's not about waiting for the enemy to come to us. We take the fight to them." Vlorak blinked, a confused expression rippling through his alien features. "Offense? But how can you be so sure that this will keep you safe?" Dr. Lawson leaned forward. "Let me give you a history lesson, Ambassador. In the early days of our civilization, Earth faced many threats, both internal and external. But it was our capacity to take action, to proactively defend our interests, that allowed us to survive. We built weapons, we forged alliances, we explored the stars. Every threat that came to Earth, we met with resilience and a strategy to strike first, not wait for a response." "Isn't that reckless?" Vlorak asked. "Wouldn't it be safer to simply build a defense grid and deter threats before they even reach you?" "It's not reckless," Dr. Lawson countered. "It's our nature. We believe that the best defense is a strong offense, and that approach has shaped our history. From our wars on Earth to the space battles we've fought in the void, we've always believed that if you want to protect your home, you need to be able to act swiftly and decisively." She paused for a moment, letting the weight of her words sink in. "When you rely too heavily on defense, you wait for a threat to materialize. But we've learned that the best way to ensure safety is to be so powerful, so capable, that no enemy dares to challenge you. The idea of waiting for someone to strike first goes against everything we stand for. We take the fight to the stars, not the other way around." Vlorak's antennae twitched as he absorbed her words. The idea was alien to him, but there was an undeniable logic to it. The Federation had never experienced a species that operated with such aggressive confidence. To them, defense was the foundation of survival. Yet here was a world that had built its strength by taking the initiative, rather than waiting. "You Earthlings," Vlorak murmured, almost to himself, "you fight with the fire of a species that has never known defeat." Dr. Lawson's eyes sparkled with pride. "Exactly. We fight because we believe we are capable of winning. Our history, our very survival, has been built on this mindset. We are explorers, innovators, and warriors, and we believe that when it comes to our survival, we can never afford to wait." The room fell silent for a moment. The Federation ambassador, who had traveled across the galaxy, encountered countless species, and seen advanced civilizations crumble under the weight of their own defenses, was now faced with a perspective he had never considered. "And this approach," Vlorak asked slowly, "has kept you safe?" "More than safe," Dr. Lawson replied. "It's made us strong. When Earth faces a threat, we meet it head-on. We don't wait for danger to strike. We make sure our enemies know that to challenge Earth is to challenge a species that will fight back, and fight back hard." Vlorak thought for a long moment. It was a bold philosophy, one that required immense courage and belief in oneself. It was different from anything he had ever encountered in his travels through the galaxy. "You do not fear the consequences?" he asked, his tone almost respectful. "No," Dr. Lawson said simply. Fear only holds you back. If you're going to survive in this galaxy, you need to make sure that others know you won't back down. And when the Federation looks at Earth, we want them to know that we will never surrender to anyone." The ambassador nodded, a rare, appreciative glint in his eyes. He stood up, extending one of his many arms in a gesture of respect. "Perhaps we have much to learn from your people, Dr. Lawson. The Federation has always valued its defensive systems, but I see now that Earth's approach might be something we should consider." Dr. Lawson stood as well, returning the gesture. "We believe in offense because we believe in ourselves, Ambassador. We take responsibility for our safety, and we believe no one can protect us better than we can protect ourselves." As the Federation envoy departed, the echoes of the conversation lingered in the room. Dr. Lawson looked out at the stars, her thoughts a mixture of pride and anticipation. Earth had always been a force to be reckoned with, and now, even the Federation could see that. In the end, it wasn't about waiting for danger to come, it was about facing it head-on, with the strength, ingenuity, and resolve that had made humanity one of the most formidable species in the galaxy. The Federation might have had its defense grids, but Earth had something far more dangerous, the unshakable will to fight, no matter the odds. And that was the best defense of all. As the Federation envoy's ship disappeared into the void, Dr. Lawson returned to her desk, her mind racing. She knew the Federation would likely report back to their council with questions about Earth's aggressive philosophy, but she also understood that this conversation was only the beginning. There would be many more eyes on Earth now, scrutinizing every move the planet made. For centuries, Earth had operated with an underdog mentality. Few had ever taken the planet seriously, often dismissing it as a small, insignificant world in a corner of the galaxy. But now, things were changing. The Federation had taken notice, and there was a growing sense that Earth's willingness to stand strong and meet any challenge head-on might be the key to its future in the galactic community. Days later, Dr. Lawson stood in front of the United Nations, delivering a speech that would shape the planet's new direction. The Federation had offered resources, technology, and protection, something the human race had once believed they could never have. But now, it was clear, Earth wasn't going to just accept help. It would forge its own path, with its own rules. "Friends, allies, and citizens of Earth," she began, her voice steady and resolute. "The time has come for us to stand on our own 2 feet. We are no longer a fledgling species. We are a force in the universe, and we must act as such. We don't need to cower behind shields or rely solely on others to keep us safe. We have the power within ourselves to defend our future. Our survival will come from our ability to push forward, to take risks, and to fight for what is ours. And we will fight, not out of desperation, but out of strength." The room was silent as Dr. Lawson's words hung in the air, a quiet understanding taking root. The leaders of Earth knew that this was the beginning of a new era for humanity. In the weeks that followed, Earth's military forces began to expand, not in preparation for war, but as a message to the galaxy. The planet invested heavily in advanced technology, some of which had been given by the Federation, but much of it was developed by Earth's own scientists and engineers. The human race was no longer content to sit idly by in the face of potential threats. Instead, they took an active role in shaping their destiny, ready to assert themselves on the galactic stage. There were whispers throughout the Federation about Earth's boldness, and many of the other races began to take note. Some found the idea of an offense-focused species unsettling, while others found it admirable. Earth's strength wasn't just in its military advancements, though. The human spirit, the same spirit that had carried them from the Stone Age to the stars, was its greatest weapon. One day, Dr. Lawson was called to a meeting with Federation High Command. As she entered the large, sterile room, she was greeted by an assembly of the galaxy's most powerful beings, all seated in a circle. They had a proposition for Earth, a partnership, a mutual defense pact that would cement Earth's place in the Federation. Ambassador Vlorak was there, his 3 eyes glowing with a mix of curiosity and respect. "Dr. Lawson," Vlorak began, "we've been watching your people closely. Your philosophy, your willingness to engage the unknown with confidence and strength, it is unlike anything we've seen in the Federation. You have refused to be a passive participant in your own survival, and for that, you've earned our respect." Dr. Lawson raised an eyebrow. "Respect, Ambassador? You don't just offer respect. You offer partnership. What are you asking for? Vlorak leaned forward, his voice almost conspiratorial. We want to make you an offer. The Federation is prepared to offer you resources, access to advanced technology, and protection for Earth. But we also see potential in Earth's approach. We believe you could teach us something valuable about self-reliance, about taking proactive measures to defend one's home. If you accept this pact, you would be more than just a member of the Federation. You would be a key player in our future, helping guide us into an era where our defenses aren't just about reacting to threats but preventing them entirely. Dr. Lawson's mind raced. The offer was tempting. Earth's place in the galaxy would be secure, and they would have resources that could advance humanity's knowledge and strength. But there was a catch. She had already seen that the Federation, with all its technology and power, was still bound by its defensive philosophy. They relied on deterrence and preparation, not bold action. We don't need protection, Dr. Lawson finally replied, her voice firm. We need partnership on equal footing. Earth will not hide behind your shield. We will forge our own path, and we will do so with the understanding that when a threat comes, we won't wait for it to knock on our door. We'll meet it head-on. The room fell silent. Dr. Lawson knew the Federation would have to rethink their approach to Earth. They had to understand that humanity's strength lay not just in technology but in their mentality. Earth didn't wait for fate to come to them. They made their own destiny. The Federation members exchanged looks, clearly considering her words. Finally, Ambassador Vlorak nodded. It seems we have underestimated your species, Dr. Lawson. We will respect your decision. But know this, if you are truly ready to embrace this mindset, then we are ready to stand with you, not as protectors, but as allies. Dr. Lawson's eyes gleamed. That is all we've ever asked for. With that, the deal was struck, and Earth's place in the galaxy was secured, not as a dependent world, but as a true partner, a force that would no longer be defined by fear but by the strength of its will. As she left the meeting, Dr. Lawson looked out at the stars once more. Earth had made its mark. The galaxy would now know the truth. Humanity was a force to be reckoned with, and they would never again be caught unprepared. The future was theirs to shape, and they would face it boldly, on their own terms. Months passed since the deal was struck, and Earth's transformation was nothing short of remarkable. The once fragile world, which had teetered on the edge of the unknown, now stood proudly on the precipice of a new era. The Federation's advanced technologies were integrated into Earth's systems, but it was the human drive for innovation that truly propelled their progress. Dr. Emma Lawson stood in front of a massive display in the newly constructed Earth Command Center, overseeing the progress of the first joint military exercise with Federation forces. Earth's military was now equipped with Federation weaponry, yet it was still the ingenuity of Earth's engineers that dominated the operation. The exercise was designed not to defend but to test a new offensive strategy, a blend of Federation technology with Earth's spirit of proactive defense. Her mind briefly drifted back to the words she had spoken months ago in the Federation High Command. We don't need protection. We need partnership. At that moment, Earth's forces weren't just participating in a galactic exercise. They were proving a point. Earth wasn't just a passive member of the Federation. They were leaders in an approach that was both unorthodox and undeniably effective. The exercise began with a simulated enemy fleet attacking Earth's outer colonies. Federation forces, with their defense-focused strategy, immediately set up shields and fortified positions. But Earth's military, instead of waiting for the enemy to approach, launched a preemptive strike, a coordinated offensive that came from multiple angles, overwhelming the simulated enemy before they even had a chance to react. As the simulation concluded, Dr. Lawson watched the Federation officers exchange quiet murmurs of awe and concern. They had never seen a species deploy such swift, precise, and aggressive tactics. Earth wasn't waiting for a threat, it was taking the initiative, and it was working. Ambassador Vlorak, who had been observing the simulation from a distance, approached Dr. Lawson with a rare smile on his face. I must admit, I had my doubts when you first explained your approach to defense, he said, his voice filled with genuine admiration. But now, I see it. Your people truly understand the power of striking first. Dr. Lawson's gaze remained fixed on the display, where the results of the exercise were being calculated. It's not just about striking first, Ambassador, it's about making sure that our enemies know, without a shadow of a doubt, that if they come for us, they will regret it. It's about ensuring that we don't just survive, but thrive. Vlorak nodded, his antennae twitching in what might have been a sign of respect. The Federation is not accustomed to this kind of approach. We prefer to have our enemies think twice before they attack. But your people, are changing the rules. I've seen the reports on the increased military production. Earth is no longer a small, defenseless world. It is becoming a formidable force. Dr. Lawson's lips curled into a confident smile. We've always been formidable. The difference now is that we have the tools to prove it. In the following months, Earth's global alliances shifted. Formerly neutral nations began to align with Earth's military doctrine, seeing the benefits of taking proactive measures in an increasingly volatile universe. The rest of the galaxy began to take notice. Earth was no longer seen as a backwater planet. Its military doctrine was becoming the talk of the Federation. But with strength came new challenges. As Earth's reputation as a rising military power spread across the stars, new factions began to emerge, each with its own agenda. Some alien species, once allies of the Federation, were wary of Earth's growing influence. Others, emboldened by the same offensive mentality, began to form their own coalitions. The delicate balance of power in the galaxy was beginning to shift, and not everyone was happy about Earth's newfound confidence. One such group was the Karath, a powerful alien race known for their strict adherence to the defensive strategies that had kept their homeworld safe for millennia. They were as ancient as the Federation itself, and they viewed Earth's offensive tactics as reckless and dangerous. A delegation of Karath representatives arrived on Earth, demanding a meeting with Dr. Lawson. Their leader, Karathian ambassador Avrak, was a towering figure whose dark, jagged armor seemed to absorb light. He entered the Earth Command Center with an air of superiority, his four eyes scanning the room coldly as he took his seat across from Dr. Lawson. "You humans are making a grave mistake," Avrak's voice rumbled, low and commanding. "The Federation has built its power on balance. We keep the peace by deterring war, not by inviting it. Your offensive stance will only lead to chaos. A conflict between your people and the Federation is inevitable if you continue on this path." Dr. Lawson sat calmly, unshaken by Avrak's presence. The Federation built its peace on a foundation of fear and deterrence. We've seen it in action, defensive systems that wait for the enemy to strike. But Earth's way is different. We will never be caught off guard. We take control of our own destiny. You call it reckless. We call it survival. Avrak's eyes narrowed. Survival at the expense of stability. You believe your strength will keep you safe. But what happens when you provoke a species more powerful than you? Dr. Lawson met his gaze without flinching. Then we fight back. And we win. That's what Earth does. If we want to remain masters of our own future, we will not hide behind shields. We will not wait for danger. We will face it directly. And we will ensure that we're the ones who make the first move. The Karath delegation left the meeting without further words, but it was clear that their stance was firm. Earth's philosophy of offense had ruffled feathers across the galaxy, and the question remained, would the Federation and its allies stand by as Earth continued to push its own agenda, or would they push back? As the days passed, Dr. Lawson found herself contemplating the future of Earth and its place in the galaxy. The peaceful path the Federation had embraced was beginning to fray at the edges, and Earth's methods of offense had stirred a storm that was only just beginning to build. But there was one thing she knew for certain: Earth would not be a passive player in the cosmic game. As long as Earth stood, they would continue to fight for their right to thrive, to be free, and to never again be bound by fear. The galaxy was watching, and Earth was ready to make its mark on its own terms. The political storm was brewing. The Karatha's cold warning to Earth was just the beginning. As more factions grew wary of humanity's unyielding offensive stance, whispers began to spread through the galaxy. Some saw Earth's strength as a beacon of hope, proof that even the smallest, most underestimated worlds could rise above their circumstances. Others, however, saw it as a dangerous precedent. Dr. Lawson was in her office late one evening when the comm signal buzzed. It was a Federation-wide communication, urgent and classified. She tapped the console, and the face of Ambassador Vlorak appeared. Dr. Lawson, Vlorak began, his tone more serious than she had ever heard. The Karath have officially petitioned for a council meeting. They're calling for Earth's approach to be reevaluated. If we do not address their concerns, the peace between us and them could collapse. Dr. Lawson leaned forward, her brow furrowed. So they want us to change our approach? Vlorak hesitated before responding. Not exactly. They want Earth to stop its offensive military activities and integrate more fully with the Federation's defensive structure. Essentially, they want Earth to conform to the traditional Federation model of deterrence. And what do the other members of the Federation think? She asked, already knowing the answer. They're divided, Vlorak admitted. Some see Earth as a valuable ally, while others fear that your methods will destabilize the delicate balance of power we've worked so hard to maintain. The Karatha's concerns are not unfounded. If you continue down this path, there could be consequences. Dr. Lawson exhaled, staring at the screen for a moment. And if we refuse to comply? Vlorak's expression was unreadable. The Federation might be forced to reconsider its partnership with Earth. You could find yourselves isolated. For a long moment, Dr. Lawson said nothing. The weight of the situation pressed down on her. But she had already known that this day might come. Earth had never been a passive player. And now it seemed the galaxy was taking notice in ways that could alter humanity's place in the universe. We won't bow to their demands, she finally said, her voice resolute. If the Federation wants to hold us to their defensive model, then it's their choice. But Earth will not compromise its core beliefs. Vlorak looked at her with an expression that bordered on regret. I understand. But be careful, Dr. Lawson. There are forces in the galaxy that may not take kindly to your rejection. I've faced worse, she said quietly, and Earth has always come out stronger. Thank you, Ambassador. The call ended, and Dr. Lawson sat in the silence of her office, reflecting on the weight of her words. Earth was at a crossroads. The Federation had been humanity's lifeline in the past, offering resources, technology, and a measure of security. But as Earth's power grew, so did its autonomy, and that came at a cost. Dr. Lawson's mind turned back to the Karath and their warnings. She knew what they were really afraid of, what everyone was afraid of. Earth wasn't like the other species in the Federation. Humanity didn't need to rely on passive defense or deterrence to survive. They had built their strength on the foundation of proactive, calculated action. It was a philosophy that was working, but it was one that made the galaxy uncomfortable. The next few days were a whirlwind. A special council meeting was called, where Dr. Lawson would present Earth's stance to the Federation. She knew the odds were stacked against her, but she couldn't back down. The future of Earth, its right to defend itself in its own way, depended on this moment. As she prepared to enter the council chamber, Dr. Lawson took a deep breath. The room was packed with representatives from across the Federation, each of them seated around a massive table. The atmosphere was tense, an undercurrent of distrust rippled through the air. Ambassador Vlorak was there, sitting quietly to one side, his multiple eyes focused on her with an air of anticipation. She was about to address not just the Federation's governing body, but the galaxy itself. Members of the Federation, Dr. Lawson began, her voice clear and commanding. I stand before you today not as a representative of a small, insignificant world, but as the voice of Earth, a planet that has stood the test of time and adversity. We have seen wars, we have faced destruction, and we have overcome every challenge because we never waited for a threat to strike. We acted. We took the fight to those who sought to harm us, and we won, and we will continue to win because that is our way. She paused, scanning the room for any sign of support. The Federation's defensive model has worked for many species, but it will not work for us. We will not cower behind shields or wait for our enemies to make the first move. Our strength lies in our ability to strike when the time is right. We are not just passive participants in our own survival. We are active agents of our future, and we will not change that for anyone. A murmur rippled through the room, and several Federation representatives exchanged glances. The Karath delegation, however, remained unmoved, their gaze cold and calculating. Dr. Lawson continued, her voice unwavering. The Karath fear that our methods will upset the balance of power. They are right to be cautious, but what they fail to understand is that peace is not guaranteed by inaction. Peace is earned through strength, through the willingness to fight when necessary, and through the belief that we can protect ourselves, no matter the odds. She turned to the Federation representatives. We ask for partnership, not protection. We will fight to secure our place in this galaxy, just as we've fought for our survival on Earth. You can choose to stand with us, or you can stand against us, but know this, we will never apologize for taking control of our own fate." The silence in the room was deafening. Then, slowly, a representative from the Virians, a race known for their pragmatic approach to galactic politics, spoke up. "Dr. Lawson, Earth's stance is radical, but it is also compelling. We have seen the results of your military prowess, and it cannot be ignored. Perhaps it is time for the Federation to consider a new way forward, one that acknowledges strength, not just defense." A few more voices joined in, supporting Dr. Lawson's position. The debate grew heated, with some factions calling for Earth to conform and others backing the human approach. In the end, the Council decided to delay a final vote, but the seed had been planted. Earth's philosophy was no longer just a bold idea, it was beginning to gain traction. As Dr. Lawson left the council chamber, she felt a renewed sense of resolve. The road ahead would not be easy, and there would be those who would try to undermine Earth's place in the galaxy. But one thing was certain, Earth was no longer the underdog. Humanity had earned its right to stand tall. The galaxy was watching, and Earth was ready to make its mark on its own terms. As Earth's philosophy of proactive defense began to ripple through the Federation, the tension in the galaxy grew palpable. The Federation was struggling to find a balance between maintaining unity and respecting Earth's unconventional approach. While the support for Earth was gaining momentum, there were still powerful forces within the Federation that were wary of humanity's boldness. In the days following the council meeting, Earth's leaders convened in a series of high-stakes discussions. Dr. Lawson, now more than ever, understood the magnitude of the choices they faced. The Karath had not backed down, and it was clear they would continue to challenge Earth's place in the Federation. But Earth had allies, both within the Federation and in the vast expanse of the galaxy. One such ally was the Rygar, a race of energy-based beings who had long observed Earth's history from afar. They had no physical bodies, but their intelligence and technological prowess were unmatched. The Rygar had remained neutral in the political landscape of the Federation, but they had always held a special interest in Earth, fascinated by humanity's unrelenting will to survive and evolve. Dr. Lawson received an encrypted message from the Rygar. The message, cryptic and brief, contained a simple invitation: "We must talk. The time is now." She knew what this meant. The Rygar rarely intervened directly in galactic affairs, but when they did, it was usually because the galaxy stood at a precipice. The galaxy was watching Earth's every move, and the Rygar, it seemed, had decided it was time for them to speak out. The meeting was scheduled aboard one of the Rygar's immense ships, which hovered silently outside Earth's orbit. As Dr. Lawson arrived at the Rygar ship, she was escorted into a chamber unlike any she had ever seen. The walls seemed to ripple with energy, and the air was alive with an odd, buzzing sensation. At the center of the room, a presence took form, a glowing, shifting mass of light and energy. This was the Rygar ambassador, a being known only as Thura. Dr. Lawson, Thura's voice echoed, not from any single point in the room, but from all around her. It was as if the sound emanated directly from within her mind. "You have stirred the galaxy, but you are not alone. You have our attention, but more importantly, you have our respect." Dr. Lawson stood, taking in the powerful energy of the Rygar ambassador. "I'm honored by your message, but I must ask, why now? Why are the Rygar choosing to act now?" Thura's form pulsed with a rhythmic cadence, a kind of quiet deliberation. "Because you, Earth, have done what others fear to do. You have shown that strength, not passivity, can preserve peace. The Federation has clung to a defensive doctrine that has prevented progress. Earth's approach, however, has the potential to shift the very foundation of the galaxy's balance of power." Dr. Lawson met the Rygar's presence with a calm but determined gaze. "I don't seek to destabilize the galaxy, I seek to ensure Earth's future. The Federation, for all its power, has never allowed us to shape our own destiny. We want to be allies, not subordinates, and we will defend ourselves in the way we see fit." The Rygar's form shifted again, its glowing light flaring for a moment before settling. "Your strength is undeniable, but it is not enough to face what lies ahead. There are forces in the galaxy that will not tolerate your rise. Earth, the Karath are only the beginning. Your fight will not be won on the battlefield alone." Dr. Lawson's brow furrowed, uncertainty creeping into her mind. What are you saying? Are you warning me of an impending threat? Thura's voice grew somber, its resonance deep and full of weight. The galaxy's power structures are built on ancient understandings, ones that will not bend easily. There are factions, some within the Federation, some beyond it, who see your rise as a direct challenge to their dominance. The Korath are only the first among them. Their warning to you is not an isolated incident. It is the beginning of a campaign that will force Earth to conform, or be crushed. Dr. Lawson's pulse quickened, but she forced herself to remain calm. You're saying that if we continue down this path, we risk an all-out war with multiple galactic factions? Yes, Thura's voice echoed, but there is a way to avoid this. A way to ensure Earth's survival without sacrificing your independence. You must unite others in the galaxy who share your philosophy, those who understand the importance of strength. There is a collective of such races, the Council of the Dissenters. They have been watching Earth closely, waiting for the moment to act. Dr. Lawson's mind raced. A new collective? A coalition of races that believed in Earth's way of thinking? It sounded like the potential for an alliance, but it also sounded dangerous. And if we join them? She asked carefully. What will that mean for Earth? For our relationship with the Federation? Thura paused. Joining the Dissenters will not be easy. It will mean an ideological shift, not just for Earth, but for the galaxy. It will mean opposing the traditional powers and their approach to peacekeeping. And it will mean going to war with those who believe in deterrence over action. But it will also mean that Earth will stand as a leader among those who are ready to embrace a new order. Dr. Lawson felt a chill in her bones. The weight of the decision she had to make pressed down on her. But she knew one thing for certain, Earth's destiny would not be shaped by fear or appeasement. She had already made her decision when she stood up in the Federation Council meeting and declared Earth's autonomy. There was no going back now. We will not cower, she said firmly, her resolve hardening. Earth will fight for its future, with or without the Federation's approval. If the Dissenters offer a chance to stand alongside those who share our ideals, then we will consider their offer, but Earth will never surrender its independence. Thura's form rippled with a slow, approving pulse. Then you are ready. The time will come soon. Choose wisely. Dr. Lawson. The galaxy is shifting, and Earth's place within it will be decided by the choices you make in the coming days. The Rygar ambassador faded from view, leaving Dr. Lawson alone with her thoughts. She had just been given a choice, to align Earth with the Dissenters, to form an alliance with races who shared her belief in proactive defense, or to stand alone and face the galaxy's wrath. As she left the Rygar's ship and returned to Earth, she knew the decision was not just about the survival of humanity, it was about reshaping the entire galaxy. The stage had been set. The future would be determined not by the strength of Earth's enemies, but by the strength of its will. Earth was no longer the underdog. It was a force in the galaxy, and now, it was ready to lead. The days following Dr. Lawson's meeting with the Rygar were marked by intense deliberation. She spent countless hours in secure briefings with Earth's top military leaders, diplomats, and scientists, weighing the offer of the Dissenters against the risks it posed. The Rygar's warning echoed in her mind. Joining the Dissenters could spark an all-out galactic war, but it could also offer Earth the support of those who shared its philosophy of proactive defense. Earth's military capabilities were growing, but it wasn't enough to fight multiple galactic factions at once. The decision she faced now wasn't just about military might, it was about diplomacy, alliances, and the very soul of Earth's future. Would humanity continue its journey within the Federation, at the risk of being subdued by its established rules? Or would it choose the path of resistance, forging new alliances in the face of overwhelming opposition? Dr. Lawson stood in front of the Earth Command Center's war room, watching as her team analyzed reports and projections. She knew she couldn't delay any longer. The Korath weren't going to back down, and there were already murmurs of a larger Federation-wide investigation into Earth's military buildup. It was time for Earth to make its choice. Meanwhile, across the galaxy, the tension was palpable. The Korath had launched diplomatic efforts to rally Federation members against Earth's rise. Their representatives had visited several key worlds, warning of the dangers of allowing humanity's offensive stance to continue. The Federation's council was polarized. Some worlds argued that Earth's military innovations were a necessary evolution, while others, influenced by the Koratha's lobbying, pushed for Earth to be reintegrated into the Federation's defensive fold. But behind the scenes, Earth's message was gaining traction. Various races, though cautious, were beginning to see the merit in Earth's approach. The Dissenters, a covert coalition of races who believed in proactive defense and the freedom to strike first, had been quietly growing in influence, and now they saw an opportunity. The Dissenters had reached out to Dr. Lawson through encrypted channels. Their leader, a being known as Tarvek, a formidable warlord from a species called the Vaxxer, invited her to meet with them in person. The Dissenters believed that Earth's determination could tilt the balance of power in favor of a new galactic order. Dr. Lawson didn't hesitate. The stakes were too high to play it safe. In a hidden sector of space, far from Federation-controlled space, Dr. Lawson arrived at a rendezvous point with the Dissenters. The area was as secretive as it was unsettling, an asteroid field surrounded by a dense nebula, making it nearly impossible for Federation forces to detect any activity. The Vaxxer warship, the Silent Fang, awaited her arrival. As she boarded the vessel, Dr. Lawson was greeted by a starkly different kind of presence. The Vaxxer were towering, fierce warriors, their bodies heavily armored and jagged, dark exoskeletons. But it was Tarvek himself who caught her attention. His gaze was piercing, his movements deliberate. A being who had survived countless battles and whose species had long ago forsaken the idea of passive defense in favor of absolute combat readiness. Dr. Lawson. Tarvek's voice was a low growl, filled with respect but also the gravitas of someone accustomed to leading through force. You've made quite the impression. Earth's rise has sparked the interest of many races, but more importantly, it has reignited the fires of those who still understand the importance of strength. She stood tall, meeting his gaze without hesitation. I'm here because I believe Earth has a place in this galaxy, and it will be a place of strength. But if we are to go down this road, we need allies. Not just any allies, but ones who understand that survival in this galaxy comes through action, not appeasement. Tarvek's expression softened, if only slightly. You're not wrong, Earth. The Federation has long relied on an ideology of control through deterrence and diplomacy, but it has failed to account for those who are willing to seize control. The Dissenters stand for a galaxy where the strong lead, and the weak either follow or perish. You'll find that in us, Earth. There are no illusions, only strength, only survival. Dr. Lawson nodded. And that's why I'm here. Earth is no longer the underdog in this galaxy. We're going to fight, and we're going to win. But we cannot do it alone. Tarvek leaned forward, his sharp eyes gleaming. Then we shall fight together. We will take the battle to those who would oppress us. The Federation will not bend its principles easily, but they will bend when faced with the might of those who will stop at nothing to take control. The tension in the room thickened as Tarvek continued. You must understand, Dr. Lawson, that joining the Dissenters is not just a matter of standing beside us. It is a commitment to a new order. If we push back against the Federation and the Koroth, there will be no turning back. The galaxy will change. There will be war, and no one can predict the outcome. I understand, Dr. Lawson replied, her voice steady. But Earth will not survive by sitting back and waiting for the galaxy to dictate its fate. I'm ready to take that risk, as are the people of Earth. We will fight, and we will win. Tarvek's lip curled in something that resembled a smile, a rare sight among the Vaxxer. Then let us make this official. Welcome to the Dissenters, Dr. Lawson. Welcome to the future of the galaxy. Back on Earth, the decision was made. The Council of Earth had formally joined the Dissenters. It was a decision that sent shockwaves through the Federation and beyond. The Federation had long been a bastion of cooperation and peace through deterrence. But now, Earth was boldly asserting its own vision. Earth's membership in the Dissenters signified not just a philosophical shift, but a military one as well. Earth's military would now stand alongside races that were committed to action rather than mere defense. The Koroth, along with their Federation allies, had underestimated humanity's resolve. They had thought Earth was just another fragile world, unwilling to rise to power. But Earth's strength was undeniable, and now the galaxy was about to witness its full might. The war was beginning. Earth would no longer be a passive observer. It would be a leader in the new order of the galaxy. The Federation and the galaxy would soon realize that Earth wasn't just surviving, it was forging its destiny, one battle at a time.